Hello and welcome. It's The Chat and Manny. My guest is one of the most talented individuals I've come across in many years. He has been in the acting profession since 1992, and behind him is over 100 movies.
Kanayo Modestus Onyekwere, popularly known as Kanayo or Kanayo, is a philosopher, political scientist, a lawyer, and veteran Nollywood actor and producer. He is also the founder of the Kanayo or Kanayo Mentoring Academy. Born on March 1st, 1962, in Mbise, Imo State, he holds a diploma in mass communication and law, a Bachelor of Science degree in philosophy, a master's degree in political science, all from the University of Lagos, and was recently called to the Nigerian bar. Upon completing university, KOK, as he is fondly called, began his journey in the media and entertainment industry after working in apprenticeship positions. As a trainee, he starred in a variety of TV shows hosted on the Nigerian Television Authority Enugu and Aba. He also worked as a program presenter and newscaster for Radio Nigeria. Before his appearance on the big screen, KOK had a brief stint in the fashion industry. He made his debut on the television series The New Masquerade and made his film debut in the 1992 Nollywood classic Living in Bondage. He has further featured in over 300 movies and productions. Besides his successful career, KOK's desire for public service drove him into contesting the Federal House of Representatives seat to represent his constituency in the 2011 general elections. Though he was unsuccessful at the polls, in 2013 he was appointed by President Goodluck Jonathan as a board member of the National Institute of Hospitality and Tourism Studies. For his contribution to the entertainment industry, he bagged the award for Best Actor in a Leading Role at the Second African Movie Academy Awards for his performance in Family Battle, a recipient of the 2013 AMA Special Recognition of Pillars of Nollywood Honorary Award, and member of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He continues to provide mentorship to young people through the Kanayo or Kanayo Mentorship Academy, a foundation to guide African youths to fulfill their true potential. KOK is a United Nations ambassador. He is married and has 4 children.
Well, this is your life. Kanayo or Kanayo. Now, you see, I was talking to you before now that I get confused. What is your real name?
I don't have a real name because when you say real name means there's a fake name.
Oh, well,
I have a baptismal name.
Okay.
Kanayo Modestus Onyekwere.
Kanayo Modestus Onyekwere.
Yes.
Okay.
Kanayo or Kanayo.
That's what is on your passport?
Yeah, that's what's on my passport.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, but most people say you are KOK. And
I'm KOK.
You're still KOK.
Kanayo or Kanayo is my professional name.
Which do you prefer?
Both.
Of course.
They are one and the same person.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say congratulations to you later on because you have become a lawyer, a learned friend.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel fulfilled. Just one word. Because all through my life of academic sojourn, I've always wanted to be a lawyer.
But hang on, you have done this after some acting spells,
sure.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So, I mean, acting was never part of your dream. You just stumbled on it?
I didn't stumble on it. I mean, it's a talent that is in me. But suffice it to say that it's something like pregnancy you can't hide. You try to suppress it, but it keeps on coming. And it's been there, even from childhood. I used to make people laugh a lot. They told me in my village.
I was saying that you're one of the few recognizable actors, not just in Nigeria, in Africa.
Yes. To God be the glory.
Since 1992, I also said you had churned out about 100 Over 100 movies.
That's yeah, over 100 I will accept. Let me tell you the origin of that. A journalist wrote something and said Kanayo has starred in over 100 movies, but that's a discredit to me, because from 1992 to now, I've done over 300 movies. Let me say, I'm happy we're saying this on this program now. I've done over 300 movies, so it can be 100. You know, when in law you say about, it can be understood to cover. So when you say over, I will agree. But can we do Kanayo a favor by saying over 300
What's
movies?
the name of the very first movie?
Definitely, everybody knows that Living in Bondage was our first home video.
Oh, interestingly, let me ask this question now. Who produced Living in Bondage?
Living in Bondage was produced by Nebue, Kenneth Nebue, the owner of then Neck Video Links. It was an eye-opener. It was an act of divinity, because it caught fire. That's the home video you have today. Living in Bondage caught fire, and the story is what we're telling today.
So that's the very first?
The very first, yes.
Did you earn enough money?
No. I was paid 1,500 naira, 1992.
What could that buy you?
He bought something in 1992.
What did he buy you?
I can't remember, because you know what? Yeah, because Nick had his way then, and that's where maybe he lost along the line. He would not pay you until the movie is released. So some new guys came on the block, and they would even pay you before you get a script. So that changed the scenario.
And then there's this thought about Kanayo only playing the role of a ritualist. Is that so?
No, I think the only way to answer that question is this. You know, if you see a Sylvester Stallone, you can't see him playing the managing director of a bank. The tendency always in this profession is that when people see you play a particular role very well, they tend to cast you continuously. But take it from me, a time came in the movie industry where I told producers, can we change the storyline so it doesn't look like we only tell a particular kind of stories, but the market forces determine profit making. Business will not be real if you buy a product and you don't make profit from it. So what has been selling in the market for them that has made it difficult for them to change is the stories along that line.
What do you say to those Nigerians who think that a typical Nollywood movie, the moment you know the beginning, you know the end?
Yeah, but very sad and unfortunate.
You agree?
I agree. Because some people have decided not to think. You know, you're still spoon-feeding the audience. A time was when some producers used to insist that you must see an accident happen. No, you can see 6 months later. You can see an accident. You don't need to see the hospital.
What do you think is the problem? What's the
problem
challenge?
is lack of training.
Lack of training.
Yes, and it's so huge that people think it's about making money every day. It's about going for training, even training yourself on the job. Think.
So what do you say to those directors that are involved in what they call sex for roles?
Sex for roles. Let me say that it's not limited to Nigeria. You know, it's an individual thing. It's not a group thing. But it is something that must not be encouraged. Women must not be used as sex tools. So when you have a situation where somebody has to give something to get a role, it's not professional. It's unprofessional.
Is it still persisting in the
industry? It is persisting.
What have you done?
And I have spoken. If you remember when the Weinstein happened, VOA or BBC called me and I even gave them names of producers who were engaged in that.
But you have, is it an association?
Yes.
That people are members?
And then
you don't sanction people like that.
Yeah, you see, the guilds are weak. The guilds are weak. The Actors Guild of Nigeria, the Association of Movie Producers, Directors Guild of Nigeria, they're weak. But of course, you also know, just like in law, there are elements to prove before rape, you know, and it's difficult to prove it, you know. So it is also in the movie industry that most girls would not want to speak up, just like rape victims too do not want to speak up. So when you have a situation where a girl has been used as a sex toy or tool or influenced, one, she wouldn't want to speak up so that the producers will stop giving her roles, or to be intimidated or coerced into leaving the industry. So it's quite something I will never support. I have spoken against, because it will not advance us as an industry.
Well, let me ask you, what's been the most difficult movie you have been involved in?
Well, you see, difficult.
Challenging, well, then.
Yeah, when you say challenging could be in terms of role interpretation. Challenging could be by what you went through in terms of realizing that and so on. I would say I have enjoyed myself, in every role I've played. But be that as it may, there are some movies that have posed greater challenges. I'll mention one, and that's 1999, Lost Kingdom. Lost Kingdom was a microcosm of how people graduated from one crime to the other. That's a movie where my hand was like this. It was a challenge for me because I was going to be criticized that I couldn't maintain continuity. So I was very critical of myself. And after the movie, I was still unconsciously walking with my hands hung up. The role was in me, and I was in the role.
Really? Mm-hmm. Have you been in a position where you played different roles? Because what I find out is that in most of these movies, there's a select few of people who cannot play or will not be seen as playing what you consider a lower role. I've never seen you play the role of a gatesman.
No, you would be wrong there. You know why? Because there are some movies where you start as a poor man and end up a rich man.
Oh, that is...
yeah, because that's the transition.
That's
Okay, the same movie I mentioned, Lost Kingdom. I started as a schoolboy. I played a schoolboy. And guess what? They took me to my secondary school in Aba, 30-something years after I left that school, to play that role. So they had to give me a uniform, and I played the role.
What's your view about where things are going in this country?
It's like we have a country that God gave all its resources, and we've not managed it well. Secondly,
in what areas?
That's like Achebe's book. The problem of Nigeria is leadership. It has never changed.
Is that your view?
Yes.
From when?
From say after independence. The First Republic, yes, may have done well as founding fathers, but did the subsequent regimes follow up?
If you were president for one day,
yes,
what would be the first step you will take?
The first step I would take would be to ensure that I unite, as it is right now, unite the country.
Is that the most troubling situation in the country?
Yes, Nigerians are more divided. When there's disunity, you can't achieve anything. It's better a Yoruba man sees me as a brother than see me as an unfair competitor. When he says that Omo Igbo in a very, very derogatory way, and I say to the Hausa man, this one don't know anything. We must be united. Unity, if we don't have it, forget it.
Do you see it coming?
Unfortunately, my answer will not be favorable because Nigerians have been taught by themselves not to trust themselves. And trust must exist in every relationship. We look at ourselves like this suspiciously, and yet we're supposed to be Nigerians building the country. Why would I worry about where my son is going to work after he finishes school? Why would it be dependent on the section of the country he comes from? Why would it be dependent on the religion he go? What has religion got to do with my son getting a job? If he's the best, hire him.
Pick a question.
Yes.
You pick a question, you answer the question. There you go.
What counsel will you give a young lad desiring a future in the movie industry? How can the KOK Academy help the next generation chart their course in life? For any young lad desiring a future in the movie industry, there must be that commitment. There must be that zeal to act. There must be that passion. Passion is very important. Because if you're doing it because you heard that Genevieve Naji earns 3 million, or Murtala is on 2.5 or 3 million and so on, you're not going to get there. So the first thing is to disabuse your mind from what you earn.
What's the highest you have earned as an actor?
To be sincere with you, 2.5 and 2.5 million.
Okay, so what's the lowest?
1,500 naira. I told you, that's what I earned in living in bondage.
You refuse to tell me what you did with 1,500 naira.
It was good money then, man. Don't forget where we're coming from, the background where we're coming from. In 1992, the problem was that, or challenge was that, NEC didn't pay it as an when due. He only paid it after the movie was released. They had lost its value. But so I can't remember what I did with it, but it was a starting point. So that also gives credence to what I just said now, that you must not focus on the money for you as a desiring newcomer.
Yeah, but I mean, are you still in the industry?
I am, first of all,
or are you bidding farewell to the industry?
No, I'm not. Good question you asked. I'm not. Don't forget, it's the industry that gave me a name. I told people at the luncheon at the Culture Bar that I am not leaving Nollywood, but I'm bringing a new normal to Nollywood.
Tell us about that.
That means I do not need to show my face every week on TV. I will maintain the rules of professional conduct for legal practitioners. I mean, there are a lot of things to do.
Are you going to spend more time practicing law than, practicing acting? Is that, being in the movie industry?
Don't you also think that I could produce things that will ensure that the legal profession marries the entertainment industry very well?
Is that your plan?
Yes.
That's like talking about structure and organization.
Yes.
Yeah? So how do you want to structure and reorganize Nollywood?
I'll be working in tandem with like minds. And I've been gathering protocols on them. And we will unleash it at a particular point.
What area of law do you want to concentrate on?
Well, I will always have other options. But the fact of the matter is, the expectations from now is that intellectual property will be protected by this man as part of entertainment law and so on, copyright, patents and so on. We will not fail in that area. But my major interest is advocacy, public interest, which also these ones fall under. Because from 1992 till now, I have seen many things, and some are a matter of policy, some are a matter of people being complacent and not meeting up with government or the National Assembly through private bills to get to be studied as law. So I would contribute my quota by being a very active member of the industry where I'm coming from, to say, what can we do? If you think that this is what goes for the industry, now I will not tell you whether it's an instrument of a bill by the National Assembly to get it done. We must chase these things.
At one stage in your life, you entered or ventured into politics, did you not?
Yes, I did. In 2011, I contested for the House of Rep.
What were you looking for?
To be of service to my constituency. One thing that I've always convinced myself about is, it's a misnomer for you to have only lawyers at the National Assembly or State Assembly. You must have people of other trades, so that when there are medical issues, a lawyer a doctor handles it. When there are engineering issues, an engineer will be called to give his professional opinion. So also it is for either entertainment, tourism, and so on. So we must have a voice, especially now that I have a law background and so on. So I would always want to be that voice.
Do you have an opinion of politics in Nigeria?
I have my opinion about politics in Nigeria. People have always said it's a dirty game. So
what do you say? Your hands were not soiled?
It is. It is a dirty game. Depends on how you play. But I want to believe that there are still few good men. And few good women too. You can find, but the number of people who are dipping their hand in the till are more than those who would even say the truth. I had an experience in 2011, and that experience was that I walked into the man's house. He was a political leader, and he said to me, "Kanayo, let me tell you, you are the best guy to go for this job. But you see, my children's school fees have to be paid. So whatever you are brought, bring it." So if a man tells you you are the best he has seen, both in character and conduct, you may not have all the money, but he knows and is convinced within himself that you are the best guy to go about money. So the tool of money in Nigeria is the worst thing that has happened to us politically, and it needs to be revisited.
You're about to go on, well, let's say a trip to an island, and that is our castaway trip to an island. What 5 items will you take along with you?
I would naturally, not because of religion, naturally take my Bible, okay? So I can say my prayers and have some quiet moments. The next thing I cannot do without is I would always bring all my casuals.
Okay.
My casuals.
You need some clothes then.
Clothes, of course.
Okay.
So casuals,
Yeah.
because I'll feel better. And then I cannot also be found without a book. I like.
You read books a lot.
Yes, I do it. I mean, you can see that I bought that just about 2 days ago. Fourthly, I like always nibbling things. Something to nibble.
So what would this be?
If I was in the village and I was taking something, I would take pancana.
Really?
I'm a local man.
Really?
Pancana, yeah. Fifthly, I think I'm going to go to an island, I would want to eat indigenous. So I'll take some indigenous food along.
Do you have any, peep at the future that you can talk about now?
What I know is that between now and the next 10 years is very critical for me in life. I am going to ensure that I contribute to the body of knowledge.
As my learned friend,
yes, a younger one.
I will say congratulations.
Thank you.
On that achievement.
Thank you.
It was bold of you.
Thank you.
It was very determining of you. And I'm happy that you achieved that goal. Well, looking forward, what do you see yourself in the legal profession?
I believe that the legal profession in Nigeria deserves a pride of place in a temple of justice. We must all contribute our quota individually and collectively to ensure that the truth and justice does not need to weep when men decide the future of other men and their nations.
Those are the real words on Marble.
I have spoken. I won't say more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kanayo O Kanayo. He's been our guest on the program The Chat. I am Manny. See you next time. The Chat is produced by Channels Television. You can watch it again online. Just visit our social media platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.